I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
This is a Kmart production, brought to you by Dudzik Chiropractic and MJB Electric. Welcome to ZaBillsPodcast. If this is your first time, we discuss the Bills games while we review two different Buffalo pizzas. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Listener's discretion is advised. ZaBill's Podcast.
All right, folks, welcome back. Episode 2, Week 1 review of the Bills. Huge victory over the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know about everyone else, but they had me worried going into the halftime.
I was pretty worried for sure.
Yeah. We have our two, how would we want to call these two gentlemen? Our game correspondents?
Beat reporters.
Yeah, the beat reporters on the scene. We have two of them. We're going to get two different experiences, I'm sure, from each of them.
Well, let's start with I remember mine.
Okay, so Mike, you went to the game.
Yep.
And let's hear how it went for you.
Well, I'll start with the tailgate. I know I sent you guys a picture. I walk up, and there's the Wingnuts van at our tailgate. So what they were doing is, Brendon put it, was like a drug dealer. They were giving you a couple freebies, and then they were trying to sell you with some. But they were also doing 5 suicide wings. If you can eat them, they're free.
Did you try it?
Nope. I'm a huge baby when it comes to that kind of stuff. I readily admit it.
Did you get close enough to somebody that got them?
Yeah,
just
you
to
should
smell
see.
them?
Yeah, I could see the sweat pouring down this one guy's face from just eating a couple of them. He couldn't get through them.
I like Wingnuts, and I've had their medium Wingnuts is hot. Wow. I can't imagine what their suicide is like. Holy shit.
And these wings were swimming in them when they gave them to you.
Boy, that's got to be brutal.
That's a way to ruin your day, I think. You start
Yeah.
out
And
with
this was
5
before the
suicidal
game,
wings at,
yeah.
What, 11 a.m.?
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Johnny on the spot guy.
And I did do the hammer lot for the first time ever. I've been going my whole life, and I went and saw the whole Pinto Ron ketchup mustard ritual. And this guy named I'm not going to think of. He played for the 49ers.
So let me ask you this while you're looking that up.
Yep.
Do they absolutely drowned Pinto Ron in condiments?
It's crazy.
It's something like you've never seen. If you haven't been there for it, it's crazy.
Okay, so then what does he do? Does he have some wash station that he takes a shower before he goes in?
He's got an RV.
Yeah, it
He
might
goes,
be.
Like, takes a shower or something. Yeah.
We were over there a
got
little
it, right?
early.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in that documentary. They show that he goes
showers
in his
right
RV
after.
and he showers.
Yeah.
I was
They
going
don't
to
show
say.
the showering, but you know.
Spice Adams. Yeah, I never heard of him, but he played for the 49ers. He was at this thing. So anyway, we were there a little early, and he's cooking. Pinto Ron is cooking. The dude is mean. He was yelling at everybody, "Get away, back up!" I think he was getting a little overcrowded, but the ritual was kind of cool. And they stand up on this thing, which I'm sure you guys have all seen through. And these bottles of ketchup are the BJ's big suckers, and there's 3 of them shooting them at once. And then these girls came out with, they look like caulking guns, but they were shooting mustard out of them. It was really crazy, but it was hysterical. So that was a lot of fun. And then going into the game, you could feel the energy, and you could feel it leave through the whole first quarter. And people, I've never, well, I shouldn't say never, but I haven't been to a Bills game in many, many years where they booed. They were booing the team. Yeah, and that's something I have never heard. And at one point during the first quarter, it was right after the strip sack of Josh. My wife goes, "It's halfway through the first quarter in the beginning of the season in the first game, and you're pissed off already." I'm like, Yep, I am. Yeah. So obviously it turned out much different, and it was a hell of a game. It was a lot of fun. To when you say, how many times have you said, we get the ball at the end of the half, we got to score here, and we get it back, and we're going to have to score there too, and it never happens. When we scored both of those, it was like, okay, I kind of feel like that's a little better now.
Right. Herb.
Yo.
How'd your day go?
It was electric. We got a limo bus or something like that. Some kind of a.
Was there a stripper pole in it?
No, unfortunately.
Was it S&S limo?
What's that?
Is the name the limo company? You don't know?
No.
Too drunk. Okay. We pulled up next to an S&S limo. My wife was doing her thing, and they were all doing it back. I thought maybe you were on it because SNS is from right here in Tonawanda.
What's
Anyway.
doing her thing?
Yeah. Okay.
No offense. No offense.
No, she's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun.
So, Herb, did you guys
There was
have
like
any?
25 people in our van, whatever, limo, whatever it was. So it was a big one.
Was it a school bus?
No, it was like a limo bus.
Okay.
And yeah, we got after it. We were in O'Neill's lot next to another limo.
Uh-oh.
And then all these girls start pouring out.
Oh.
Wow.
I was on the wrong limo is what you're saying to yourself. I need to go home on that limo.
Yeah. No, it wasn't warm enough. The butts weren't out as much as usual, but it was,
So no sundresses?
Nah.
I know you're a fan. I know you're a fan of sundress season.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. No, but it was great. Great stuff. Went to the Deuce after.
Did you get a Candyman?
No. We got pizza from the Deuce. It was pretty decent.
There's two
I didn't
different
even know
pizzas
that
in
they
there?
had pizza there.
Oh yeah.
The Deuce,
Deuce is not.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Any boner measuring contests?
Very possible. I don't know. There's a lot of wrestling. A lot of wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
Week 1, all that energy.
Yeah.
Just decided let's get it out right here.
Was there a mud pit you found or something?
No, we ended up wrestling at my buddy's Airbnb after.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Two guys just really going at it.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna
This is a family show, isn't it?
we're gonna cut and splice that for later.
I was gonna.
Another one. Yeah. And then another one of my friends jumped in. It was out of control.
Did anyone bring a chair?
No chair.
chair
No,
came out from
this
the
is
ring?
real.
Steel cage,
This is all
man.
real.
For the people that are listening, they're thinking to themselves, I wonder if I'm gonna ask for them. Was this all guys?
No, there were some. A lot of them have wives and girlfriends.
Were they with?
Believe it or not, and they were loving it. I'm sure.
And they were there or no?
No, they were there. They were there.
Okay. All
They were
right.
like half and half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Quick summary of the game, and then we'll get into the nitty gritties.
Oh man, Josh was just incredible. That's my first takeaway.
I like what Rex Ryan said about him.
Yeah.
Baddest man on the planet.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Called him best player in the league.
He's overrated though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to go down 17-3 and give up a kick return touchdown and still win is pretty good.
I can't believe that lineman ran that kickback.
That was a big boy.
He's built like a lineman.
Yeah.
Fullback or
Old
whatever.
DJ
But he
Dallas.
moved. He moved.
He outran everybody on our
Yeah.
team. Embarrassing.
I heard
All right.
Bass was our fastest player on that play.
He got it.
Yeah.
He ran like 22 miles an hour.
Yeah,
He was right there at the tackle at the end.
Unreal.
Hey, you got to give him props at least for not giving up on the play.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah.
giving him props for Jack. He
Yeah,
sucks.
I know. Trust me.
Okay, so we'll get him out of the way now since you just said that. He did go 2 for 2 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra point conversions, but
And he kicked a
But
Ball out
kicks
of
a
the-
ball
out
out
of
of bounds. So that negates all the other good plays?
yes.
Okay, fair enough. I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
I think I was yelling in the driveway, cut his ass.
Yeah, I think he needed to do what he needed to do, which is kind of sort of regain his confidence. I was more upset at the fact that he kicked it in play and the guy ran it back for an 8-point play, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And now we lost 11. We're down, we're up 11, but now we're only up 3, and now it's a game.
It's NFL history. It's the first one brought back with this new.
Yes.
We were the
kickoff.
first to let it in.
They were the first. Yeah.
They were the first. We
Yeah.
were also the first to have a guy hold the ball on the kickoff because of
yeah.
the wind and have 12 guys legally on the field. But in terms of what he needed to do, Bass, for the most part, showed up and performed.
Oh, we got a caller.
Yeah,
Already.
trying to get him. He's going to pick up.
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Woody, what's up?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you, yes. I can hear you well.
Hey, we were just discussing Blackout's wrestling convention at the Airbnb that he stayed at with a bunch of dudes. And we were just talking about how Bass still sucks. And how we were the first team to let someone score in the new kickoff rule.
Well, if I could, I'll start with the Bass thing. I thought, and I was reading an article today, and I kind of agreed with, I thought for Bass, minus the kickoff mistake, kicking out of bounds, which I think there's going to be some growing pains for all teams. I don't think what we saw yesterday, I don't think that's the last time you're going to see. I think the NFL probably wants a little more of that with the kickoff returns, things like that. So no excuses. The Bills got to be buttoned up there. But I thought it was better for Bass yesterday because he did make his field goals and he did make his extra points. So it's baby steps. But you guys know as well as I do, with field goal kickers, that's a mojo thing. That's a confidence thing.
Yep.
And it's a lot like goaltenders in hockey. And when it slips and it's gone, that's hard to get back. I mean, the really, really good ones, Tucker and Butker from Kansas City, those guys never seem to lose it. But, we've seen other kickers kind of lose that mojo. So, yeah, I think Bass this year, that's a work in progress for sure.
Yeah. What was your what's your take on the I was impressed that I'll go to Sean McDermott next. Seems like the team made an adjustment finally at halftime.
Can you say that again real quick? You were just breaking up. I'm sorry.
I was saying how it seemed like the Bills came out in the second half and actually made some adjustments finally where they normally don't.
Sorry, you said the Bills did what? I'm sorry. You were breaking up again. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, next caller. The Bills came out making adjustments in the second half.
So, yeah, I was worried like everybody else on what they were going to look like. I thought what we saw in the first half was about what I expected from them not playing in the preseason. They looked really rusty. The pre-snap penalties. It just looked like a team that really hadn't played together very much in the preseason. They were a little lethargic. But then when you think about it, they were down 17-3, that offense, midway through the second quarter. And then, I don't know, check my notes here, they put up 34 points. And so, I think Allen's performance yesterday puts to rest any of that discussion about how that offense is going to run. He took that game over. He played like an MVP. And as long as he's upright, they're going to have a chance in a lot of these games. The defense is what it's going to be. The Taron Johnson injury doesn't help. But I agree. They made the adjustments, and, look at the scoreboard. They ended up, really putting the foot down on Arizona in that second half.
I'll ask you, and I'll ask the table. Was everyone pleasantly surprised, stunned, that Von Miller got credit for a sack?
Besides myself.
Not for the ZaBillsPodcast. We talked about that week one. We said he had to rise to the occasion. We put I think the over under three. He's
four.
He's up
I think
one.
You said 4.
Oh, might have been 4. He's up 1.
Yeah.
You know what? He's fully healed. His mind's right. I think we got some gold that we're hanging on now. To all of a sudden it's shiny again.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It was great to see. He kind of bull rushed the guy right back into Murray, and Murray kind of tripped up, and then he just touched him down, and it was nice. Take him how you can get him.
Greg Rousseau had a very nice game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 sacks, I think.
Dominating.
I don't remember seeing 3.
Yeah,
but
he got credited for 3, and he had 5 last season.
Did anyone see Ed Oliver out there?
I saw him out there.
He was quiet.
He was the one not doing anything.
Yeah. What did you think of the secondary play?
If I could just say about Von, you guys talk about Von Miller.
Yeah.
There were signs of Von in that Kansas City game at the end of the year last year where he, you could tell that they'd kind of been saving him, and I thought he played well in that last playoff game. And then I thought yesterday, for what they're expecting out of Von Miller, I think what we're expecting at this point in his career after those two catastrophic knee injuries, I think it's a step in the right direction with him. He made plays in the second half of that game that really affected that game. And that's kind of what you want with him now. You want him to be kind of the closer. And I thought, I think maybe Dennis, you had mentioned it, whoever had mentioned about that bull rush, he completely destroyed that tackle right back into Kyler Murray's lap. And I was watching the All-22 today, and Murray tripped over that tackle as he was trying to get out of the pocket. So that was all Von Miller. That was super promising. And then Rousseau, I agree. He, started off a little slow, but like the rest of the team, man, he really picked it up in that second half. He was a real factor.
I think he's finally in the first round. We drafted him in the first round. He's finally getting into first round form. Rousseau, he's taking some time, a big man like that, to find his way. I think he's capable of taking another step this season. It was a great first game for him.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to ask Brendon about DeMar Hamlin's game, and Chris, you can piggyback if you want.
It was not bad.
Yeah.
It was not bad. That's what I'll give him. He didn't hurt us, I'll say that. He's still not a great player, but he's not going to hurt us. And I think, unfortunately, that's what our secondary is going to be this year. They're a bunch of probably not great players, but they're hopefully not going to hurt us. It's going to be a big bend but don't break year again. I think we were saying that last year, but I think the secondary, that's going to be big for them. Hopefully this is a good sign that the D-line and the linebackers are hopefully going to be solid. Bernard looked real shaky yesterday. I thought he missed a lot of tackles, at least in that first half, that I was very surprised by after he had such a good season last year. But if the D-line can be disruptive and do like what they can do, I think they're going to help that secondary be better than they are. So, like I said, they didn't hurt us yesterday, but, we got by Arizona like that. Miami, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but the one thing that stood out, it seemed like they had a game plan, which was to shut out Marvin Harrison Jr., and they shut that guy out. It almost looked like it was going to be the detriment of the Buffalo Bills, that they were favoring this guy. They did not want this guy to get hot. They didn't want to make him look like he was anything more than a early round draft pick. And they just shut him down. He caught one ball, had a couple of targets. That was it for their number 4 overall pick.
Although
that was impressive.
They left him wide open on that one play at the end of the game.
They didn't get burned. A couple of times he was open. They were flagging him a couple times. But you know what? They didn't get burned. And that was impressive.
Yeah.
For a kind of this no-name secondary that's going to cobble together.
Yeah. And a lot to like what Mike was saying about like the first quarter. We talked about it. That first quarter, I thought we were going to get absolutely blown out in this game if we continue to play like we did in that first quarter. No one could tackle anybody. It seemed like we couldn't stop the run. They weren't covering anybody, and it was just guys who had never played together.
Do you think that they planned for a different offense than what they actually came out?
I don't know. I mean,
it was like West Coast. It was like West Coast offense, and the Bills weren't ready for that.
I mean, I think they said on the broadcast that the Cardinals ran for like the highest number of yards last year, so they should have been ready for that running game with Murray and with Connor.
Yeah, kind of looked good yesterday.
Yeah, and they kind of got away from that really, like towards the end of the game. I don't know if they felt like they needed to throw the ball more or whatever, but they kind of got away from that, and that's what was killing us. So.
Yeah, they did. So Connor was real good to start out, and then he only ended up with like 50 yards rushing, which isn't a ton. But I mean, like the first 10 minutes of the game, he's the only Cardinal that touched the ball. I felt like,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying it was the first 6 straight plays. It was all him.
Yeah.
Mike,
I'm with you on all of that. My biggest concern is the secondary, though. Getting away from Connor for a minute, we played against Kyler Murray, who isn't the greatest passing quarterback in the league, and we were able to do what we did. We were able to kind of button it down. But now we're going to go up against Tua with he's got Tyreek Hill and he's got Waddle. These guys that are they're going to burn our secondary.
Yeah, they're real fast.
Yep.
And they have fast running backs, too. I mean, everybody on that team's got speed.
The only way we win, this is going to sound really stupid, and I understand that, the only way we win is if we outscore their offense. Not, you understand what I'm saying? They're going to keep scoring on us. We have to keep scoring on them. If we shoot ourselves in the foot even once, I think. Because I don't think our secondary can stop them.
Maybe Tyreek Hill will get arrested again.
How is that? So what was the charge?
He wasn't arrested. It was reckless driving. I think he got cited, and I guess it was a verbal
warning.
Yeah, they were having a discussion, and he got put in handcuffs, and he wasn't agreeing. I guess I don't know.
He was in his car. He wouldn't put the window all the way down. He had it down just a little bit. He refused to put the window down. He refused to get out of his car. So they ripped him out of the car and put him in handcuffs. And the cop that did it was put on administrative leave while they're investigating all of it.
Yeah.
So look, I don't like Tyreek Hill because he burns us every time we play him, but no one deserves it. I mean, even if he was being a jerk, you don't. He wasn't doing anything threatening,
Right.
So I don't know what led up to it. I don't know the details. I'm just a guy out here.
I guess the video of it just came out.
Yeah, I saw
a little bit ago.
I did. I saw.
I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Body cam footage
of the cop ripping him out and putting him on the ground.
I thought maybe he was letting one of his kids drive.
Yeah.
Chris, what'd you think of the Bills' offense?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Okay, we got to get you a Bluetooth. What did you think of the Bills' offense?
You know what? I'm parked right now, and if you guys can hear me okay, it's a little choppy from each of the microphones. I don't know. I mean, I'm in a good area, but for some reason, Kyle, you were asking me that question. I was hearing Mike okay. I'm not sure what you just asked. Can you say it one more time? I'm sorry.
Bills' offense, what'd you think?
Yeah, I can hear that. So, going back to what it was either Brendon or Mike was saying, I think this year as a whole with that offense, I think there's going to be a ton of pressure put on that offense. I agreed, Taron Johnson going down, however long he's out. I mean, they've lost so much on that back end. For him to go down and miss time, that's going to put a lot of pressure because I do think the defense is going to have a hard time getting off the field. And what you saw happening in that first half yesterday was that clock was ticking. I mean, at one point, Arizona had the ball for 18 minutes compared to the Bills' 6 minutes of offense, or 7 minutes. That's going to be easy for teams to game plan. And if you want to stop, Allen, you're just obviously keep the ball. I mean, it's obviously that's, Captain Obvious there, but I think it's going to be easier for teams to game plan to do that this year, whereas in years past, that defense was able to get teams off the field. I don't know against the good offenses how well they're going to be able to do that. And so that in turn, to me, is going to put a lot of pressure on Allen. It's going to put a lot of pressure on that offense. But what we've seen over the last couple of years is that when Allen and that offense are on the field, he puts up points. I mean, he just gets the ball downfield. It's sloppy at times. It doesn't feel like it's happening. And then you look at the scoreboard at the end of the game, and he's got, 28, 31 points up on the board somehow. So, we'll see how it plays out. I agree the Miami game is going to be a tough out for them. The good thing is both teams are on a short week, but they're going to have to do everything they can to keep those guys in front of them. I don't know what it's going to look like. But that's just, obviously that's a team with a lot of speed.
Chris, you said about how this defense can't, they're going to have to stop. The first time that they've forced them into a 3 and out, I actually said out loud, holy shit, finally. It was painful to watch up until that point.
Right.
Well, hopefully the offense running the ball more, hopefully that's going to create some game control, like have us dictate to them, hold the ball a little bit, have the offense for the other team on the field less.
How did you guys think that the offensive line did as a whole? Okay, run blocking, okay, kind of on the pass blocking?
Too many penalties.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the glaring thing with them because we were actually, I think I was like standing next to Dennis while we were watching the game, and I was literally like, oh, wow, the offensive line looks fantastic. Oh, no, that was on the strip sack. I was like, oh, they're giving him a ton of time, and then Allen gets strip sacked. But I thought the penalties were obnoxious. It was like 3 plays in a row. It seemed like they were getting false starts, and we were trying to drive. Was that in a 2-minute warning at the half or something?
Yeah, and we still scored, but
we did. But it was like, oh my God, these guys have no idea what's going on with the count here. And I don't know if that's like we were talking about before with them not playing a lot of preseason or what, but the holding penalties, the false starts were just obnoxious.
Yeah,
absolutely. You're not going to be able to do that against a good team when it's really tight.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that at home, period. You should not be getting these false starts. You should know the snap count. You should know, and the crowd's not a factor, so it shouldn't be happening at home.
Yeah. I thought James Cook. Go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to add that about the offensive line, Kyle. I thought Osiris Torrance, who was really clean last year, you didn't really hear from him much. That was a tough game for him. Pre-snap penalties that I think it was illegal hands in the face or whatever it was.
Yep.
I mean, he had his hand in a face mask. He couldn't even get his hand out of it. So I thought that was a tough game for him there. But for the most part, I thought Cook looked good. I thought they were able to run the ball decent. And then Allen, of course, made up for some of the times they were able to get in the backfield with his scrambles too. So,
yeah, I thought the play of the offensive line was great. I thought that they looked fine when they weren't getting a penalty. So, but
he had a lot of time back there, and Josh was just kind of managing the pocket well, other than that one play. I really liked how much he spread the ball around, too. I think our leading receiver had 51 yards.
10 different receivers caught a ball, or 10 different players got a ball.
Yeah. And how do you game plan against that?
Right.
And I think that we're going to look back and see that might have been a weakness of the Buffalo Bills. They lost quality, regardless of what I don't know if we brought up Diggs, but regardless of what we think of him now, he was considered a 1A sort of receiver. We sacrificed quality for quantity. We've got a lot of guys now. We can spread the ball. And one of the things that I felt the Bills' offense wasn't as tight. They didn't feel the need or the pressure to get the ball to someone specifically. Josh had the freedom to kind of look at who he wanted to. He didn't have to take care of anyone's ego or personality or have to deal with someone possibly whining on the sidelines. He had guys he could trust, and he could kind of throw at will. And he hit a wide variety of receivers. And I think that's going to pay dividends. And I think we'll look back, not to continue to bring up the Diggs thing, but look back and say, addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
We lost a good quality. We're paying for a good quality receiver that's not on our team, but it opened up this sort of new element for our star quarterback.
I mean, how many times did we do that stupid screen pass to Diggs that maybe got us 3 yards if you're lucky?
Lucky if it was 8.
It was the dumbest waste of a play, and we did it all the time.
Now we don't screen pass to anybody, it seems.
Right.
I think they eliminated the screen pass from their offense.
Yeah.
No one would say it. No one would ever say it. But last year, we all felt it. We all knew there was a need to get the ball to Diggs.
Absolutely.
Like, he's not going to be happy if he doesn't get it at least 4 times this quarter.
Well, now he's somewhere where he is trusted in crucial situations. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to be somewhere where you're trusted.
Is that what he said after the game?
Yep. And somebody tweeted that, and someone retweeted it and said, "Yeah, because they didn't throw it to you on the last play against Kansas City that you dropped.
Right.
Yeah.
In the most critical situation of the season."
Yeah.
So here's to Josh Allen stat that friend Rob of the show, Mr. Domino's, sent me.
Die Hard Bruins fan.
Yes. Josh Allen is now 10 rushing touchdowns behind the all-time Bills rushing touchdown leader, Thurman Thomas. 10. So he'll probably beat that.
Oh,
Definitely, yeah.
Beat it
Might
this
beat it
year.
this
Yeah, he might be it this year. Yep.
Yeah.
I saw something on Facebook earlier that said if Josh Allen keeps playing this way, Lamar Jackson might win his 3rd MVP. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to bring that up, that it was a little bit scary to see Josh Allen's hand getting wrapped up after he did a little too much on that play where he hurdled that guy into the end zone. And unfortunately, it's like we were talking about with him having to make up for the defense. I'm a little nervous about, what he feels like he has to do for this season to be a success.
Yeah, especially like a game like we're coming into, like with the Dolphins. I feel like he's going to feel like he needs to play all the more because our defense is going to probably let quite a bit in.
But I'll say something. Last year against the Jets, when they opened up, Aaron Rodgers goes down, and then the Bills lose that game. Josh Allen, you could see, had to play. He was playing Josh Allen ball, which was costing the team. He had to take the team on his shoulders, and it blew up in their face. I know we did a lot yesterday, but it seemed like it was orchestrated. It seemed like it was organized. It seemed like it was structured. And I didn't see Josh. I didn't get the sense he was playing hero ball. Yeah, maybe he was trying to be a little fancy, but I didn't get the sense that he was overdoing it. He was just running the plays that were being called his number.
The only throw he made that I was nervous was the Coleman catch.
Yes.
That's the only one I was like, wow. And Coleman came
Yep.
back. And you can't, I think Coleman's going to win a lot of those battles, but he's not going to win them all. So, you have to keep that in mind. But he put that where either one of those guys could have gotten it. That's what my fear is. Luckily, Coleman won that. But beyond that, he didn't make me nervous at all with any of his throws.
And the only person that could hurt Josh Allen is, of course, Josh Allen.
Right.
The in the air, his own elbow comes down on his hand, and that's why it's taped.
Right.
Unbelievable.
And he's already going to play.
She asked me about that. I said, did Josh Allen get hurt? I said, sort of. Who did it? Josh Allen. And, with the way it was described, hand down, his own elbow came down hard and crushed his hand.
Because he was protecting the ball.
Right.
Which is good, too.
The only one can hurt Josh Allen is, of course, Josh Allen.
But he's already been ruled in, and Taron Johnson's out.
It's not his throwing arm either. Not that matters, but it wasn't,
right.
Yep.
And they were saying, too, that his right hand is his top hand in under center.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why I thought the left would be, but I don't know, whatever. But it's his right. They said his right is, so.
They were saying it could affect him on handoffs.
Yeah, it could, if he wants to hand off to his right, because it would come out of his left hand, So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. The Thursday, to have that Thursday game, it's going to, it's not much time to heal up, obviously, but then you get almost like a mini bye week.
Right, but it's
like 10
also
days off after that.
It's also early in the season. These guys are raring to go. You could see you guys probably could feel the jam, the energy in the stadium.
Yeah.
If this is week 7 or week 8, you're kind of in the middle of the season and you're kind of banged up and hurt. They're shooting out the gates. Really, it's a 4-day, but both teams are doing a 4-day break. Granted, they got to travel, but I'll take this in week 2 compared to week 12 any day of the year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Brendon?
No, I was just going to say to Sean's point about him not playing hero ball, and I don't know if it was designed this way, but he really didn't have any deep throws except that Coleman one was, mildly deep, I guess you could say, and then the one to MVS that he overthrew him by 5 yards.
That was horrible.
That was
he had him too.
Yeah. But those were about the only 2 deep passes I remember in the entire game.
But I'm okay with an overthrow there.
Yeah.
Just when he throws him into triple coverage.
Yeah.
Which he didn't do. He didn't do that yesterday.
The one thing, if I could chime in real quick, sorry guys. The one thing I like too, and if you watch any of the Cleveland-Dallas game, which I think Dorsey is the OC there now in Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And if you watched any of that game, it was a lot of Deshaun Watson just dropping back, waiting for guys to be open, and there wasn't a lot of creativity in that offense. And one of the things I liked yesterday was there was a lot of misdirection. There were a lot of fake pitches in the backfield that turned into passes. It looked like Brady had some play designs that really had Arizona on their heels. And I don't think we saw a lot of that last year with Dorsey. And that was encouraging to see that in the first game there, that as the second half kind of opened up, there were some really crafty play designs that you could just see them unfolding. And so, that's a tip of the cap to Brady, for adding that little creativity, a little spice to the offense. The other thing I wanted to mention too, and I don't know how much you guys talked about this, because I know there are some McDermott haters on the line here at the table, but I saw a stat today, and maybe you guys talked about this, and forgive me if you did, that they have gone 42 straight games where they have not lost by more than 6 points. In fact, I think the last game that happened was probably the Colts game a couple years ago that they played in Buffalo. Taylor ran for 5 touchdowns. I happened to be at that game, and they got blown out. It was 41 to 15. And I probably think that's the last one. But I think that's a sign that this year, especially with McDermott, he's been buttoned up with them for the most part. And that stat tells me that. This year is going to be a true test for him, because I think he's going to have to coach his rear end off, starting with this game on Thursday. With any injuries, the lack of depth they have, the young talent they have, the new faces, it's really, really going to test McDermott. And I'm interested to see, how he handles it moving forward.
I'm going to jump in for 1 second, because I thought we were writing his obituary right there. I'm like, this is, again, another season opener where the Bills don't look prepared. it falls to the coach. If you're not ready for week one, that's on the coach and the coach alone. You can't blame injuries. You can't blame the new offensive coordinator. We were ready at the end of the first half. I'm like, he's done. Like, I'm ready to do a rant. And the fact that they turned it around, they looked like the coach said, I got to grab the bull by the horns. And they turned it around. They looked like a different team. I think that revived him, that brought him back, that showed the maturity that McDermott has. Not only am I off the McDermott one, but I'm usually kind of like, but who else is better? I was ready to drum him out of Buffalo. I don't care. Give me anybody at the end of the first half. But the fact they righted the ship in week one where they're used to just completely blowing it, that was a nice sign of maturity there.
I got a question. Is it possible that Babbage was calling the defensive plays in the first half? McDermott took him over in the second half? Or no?
Maybe I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I didn't hear that, but it could have. Who knows?
I was just curious if anybody heard anything on that.
I don't think you ever would. I think if that possibly could have happened.
Because we're talking, total flip on the defense.
Sure.
They couldn't stop anything that Arizona was doing.
But you do see a lot of NFL teams at halftime make changes. The Patriot way where they would go in there.
Okay, and
teams.
that's usually not the Buffalo
Correct.
way, right?
Oh, I know. That's why we talked about this growth this coach had in one game.
Right.
I mean, think about the opening season losses they've had.
So let's go back to what Mike asked us in the preview show. If this game was a must-win, and now I see what you're saying, it is. As ugly as it had to be, you had to get one to start.
Yep.
For momentum.
And like I said, it's not a must-win by a must-win definition, but we needed that
non-league
win.
game, but for momentum and to get this team going with all the questions that they have.
Right.
I will say there's one thing that McDermott really pissed me off yesterday. I don't know if anyone noticed. I mean, you noticed it, but I was livid watching the game from the stands when we didn't go for it on 4th and 3.
Yeah.
You end the game. Josh Allen gets you 3 yards and the game's over.
Right.
And we trust Bass and our defense over Josh Allen.
Right.
I agree.
Give me
That's
freaking break. What?
I said to
that was insane to
Yep.
me.
I said to my wife, I'm like, I don't trust Bass, period.
Yeah.
And you've got the best player in the league who, when you charge him to get you 3 yards, let's go all the way back to that Dallas game on Thanksgiving years ago. You know the rush I'm talking about. If you need, that was a 4th down, remember? He's going to get you those yards.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason you didn't get it,
it's the same outcome. Then.
right.
Then they just need a field goal to tie it. I mean, but then you're going to trust your I mean, they definitely would be having a much different conversation if Kyler sees Marvin Harrison wide open on that last drive.
Or
we
Bass
totally
misses
could have
that
lost
kick.
that game.
Yeah, or Bass misses that kick.
He's a conservative coach.
Yeah.
That's so wimpy. I don't understand.
Right, Herb.
Conservative or aggressive? Just make the smart decision.
I got it, but
your quarterback's your best player.
Right, but it paid off. They forced them to go
Yeah.
for a touchdown. It could have turned a different way. It didn't matter really about the out of bounds play at the 40. They needed a touchdown. They needed 7, not 6. They didn't get 7. If we, I think Josh gets 3. I think the whole table's convinced that if it was 4th and 3, where they are, they ice the game. It's done. I mean, they still had 3 timeouts too. They would have gotten the ball back with some time. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
But it did work out well. Bass made the kick. They're up 6. They stopped them from getting the end zone. This time, McDermott's got the win. He got to sleep well last night.
I was shocked he didn't use timeouts in the first at the end of the first half.
Yeah, me too. I was.
He let that clock get a little too close,
and they snapped the ball where we thought they were going to try to draw him off sides.
Yeah, this guy's a different guy.
Kind of.
Well, yeah, kind of.
And if I can add on to what Mike was saying too about a must win, if you look at the schedule that they have, not only upcoming, but the schedule as a whole, it's a struggle to get them to 9 or 10 wins, to be honest with you. I mean, if you just look at the matchups on paper. So I think when you look at the games that they have to have, yesterday was absolutely one of them to get in the W column. At home against an inferior team. So, call it what you want, must win or not. That was a game they had to have in the win column, especially with Miami coming up. And then, then I think they have Jacksonville on a Monday night coming up again, another primetime game. So it's a tough stretch early on for sure.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think after that game, getting that win is huge because now, in this early 3-game stretch, you're like, okay, well, at least you got one win. You could potentially have gone 0-3, and now you're looking at, 2-1 is not out of the realm of possibility now. I still think, I'm going to stick with my pick when we get to our picks, but, I think 2-1 is not going to be that crazy after 3 weeks now.
And I also think, Brendon, that's how I look at that schedule. You have to look at the games. I mean, they have a stretch. I want to say it's like the Texans, Baltimore. Jackson. They're all in a row. So you got to look at okay, we got those 3 games. Can you get 2 out of 3 out of there? And so when you look at these opening 3 games, can you get 2 out of these 3 games and go 2-1? I think that's reasonable to think like that with this schedule when they have a lot of good teams in back-to-back games.
Yep.
I agree. Dennis?
I was looking at something else.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Gotcha looking.
I did have something else to talk about.
Let's do it.
So the last play before the kneel downs, when Ingram looked like he was interfering, I saw some stuff online earlier about the Arizona fans really kind of crying about not getting that call.
Speaking about getting calls, finally the Bills get a call their way with that inadvertent late hit on Josh Allen. That was kind of
after
questionable.
The Kyler Murray one early in the game, like the first quarter, I think.
We usually don't get those calls. That was a big call for us.
Well, and really that last play of the game where they tried to throw in the end zone there, and we didn't get any call on pass interference or anything like that. It was nice to see the refs put the flags away on that. But that was borderline.
Yeah, it was kind of rough. I feel like if it was other way around,
we'd be pissed.
Yeah,
right. But he did get his head around. He was looking. I don't know if he was looking at the ball, but he at least made it look like he was actually attempting to play the ball. Could have gone either way. Went the Bills' way. How many times were we screwed last year with the last-minute call? They can complain all they want. It's football. That's just how it goes. Those are them breaks.
That whole game, there were calls in both directions that were questionable, that were horrible. But I guess what you have to do to get the refs to make the right call is what Jordan Poyer did yesterday. Did you guys see this?
No.
He got a face mask call because his hand got stuck in the opponent's helmet. They had to take the helmet off of the opponent and get Poyer's hand out of the face mask.
Oh, wow.
So, that was a penalty.
He caught red-handed.
Caught red-handed.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
How was the reaction in the stadium to that roughing the passer call
when they showed the
when they
replay
slid?
On Murray?
Oh,
yeah,
people
that,
were pissed,
that place went crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. He didn't hit him,
Yeah.
He held up.
Yep. And he didn't even really contact him at all.
Yeah.
Well, I think overall, I think the refs, I think they have to kind of let people play most of the time. If it's egregious, obviously, but I think you don't want. It's kind of like being an offensive lineman. You don't want your name called a whole lot,
right?
So I think sometimes they kind of take center stage when they shouldn't.
And Kyler's the size of my 7-year-old nephew. You got to protect him.
Yeah, that's true.
He can still run, dude.
Yeah, 29 yards on that one rush.
At
one point, it was the longest play of the game.
I'm surprised they just didn't let him run every single play. That probably would have beat us.
Yep. Between him and Connor, they just kept running.
Kyler Murray just couldn't get. He was just running out of bounds. He couldn't even get. It was amazing how fast he is.
Yeah, he is.
Contain.
Absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely.
I thought, the D-line played really well. So, if you have a good D-line, that can really mask a lot of the other issues on your defense. So,
I'd be okay with them taking turns every week of being the stars. Not every guy's got to be a star every week, but, maybe Ed Oliver's turn next week.
Yeah.
Daquan Jones had, one ball deflected?
Yeah.
Otherwise, he was quiet.
Very quiet. I think everybody, the interior offense, the interior defensive linemen were all pretty quiet, I thought, for the most part.
I think that could be a side effect if the quarterback is mobile. I'm going to be very intrigued to see how they play.
Yeah, plus he rolls out quite a bit, I think.
Yeah, Miami's not a mobile quarterback that's on the run. You got to contain. As much as you want to go after him. That guy broke the pocket for some big runs, and that's on your defensive line.
Yep. I'm going to say it again. I already said it once, but I'm more concerned with the passing in this next game and our DBs, and we'll see.
They're just going to have to blitz the shit out of him.
Yeah, hit him once or twice.
Yeah. Or knock him out.
Sorry, Kyle, I would say that I think this game really is going to depend on that front four to try and make Tua uncomfortable. It's really going to be a lot of pressure on them to do it. We'll see. Maybe Oliver steps up. Rousseau. They've done it in the past to Tua, but that's really going to be the key. And I think McDermott's going to stress that to them to take the pressure off the back end. They're going to have to create a little bit of chaos in the backfield, and we'll see if they can do it.
I mean, Miami only threw the ball to Tyreek, Waddle, and Achane yesterday.
That's it?
Like, pretty much. Like, they caught almost all their passes. It was those three guys. So, I mean, and Achane might be out.
Yeah, he's injured, right?
Mostert might be out. So,
good.
they got their own things they're dealing with. I don't know. We don't know for sure if those guys are going to be out.
I think from what I saw, the Miami defense looked pretty good, too, though. So
Yeah, but Josh completely owns them.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced Jacksonville's a good team anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, me neither.
We'll find out week 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, I got a question for Chris. Hey, so we've seen Kyle's basement. He's always hosting the pod here, and Mike's invited us over to his basement for the draft. I saw quite the nice picture of your garage man cave online, and
Sorry, go ahead, Brendon.
Didn't know if you could get Bill's
Kyle
podcast over there.
Kyle was texting me yesterday. I said, listen, we absolutely have to have it there. If the door is always open, I got people coming off the street. I don't even know who they are half the time. That garage is open and people come in, neighbors creep over there. But yes, you guys, we as the podcast, whoever wants to come over there, we will absolutely do a game there for sure.
Well, that is a sweet setup, man. That thing is looking awesome.
Did you decorate that yourself or did your wife?
No, definitely no. In fact, she told me tonight, she said, when am I going to be able to park in that garage again? And I just kind of looked at her and said, probably never, honey. But that's been a lot of years in the making. I had a vision for that garage when I first walked in it, years ago. And stuff just kind of finds its way there, and including a flushable urinal now, which is fantastic.
Upgrade.
So
I was going to ask if that thing is fully functional.
So we had Kyle can attest to this. I had an older one in there with some Tom Brady stickers in it that we just basically, I drained it out into the flower bed, and 3 feet deep, it goes into some stones, but it never flushed. So then my uncle decided to get his hands on one of these modified kegs that you sometimes see in the restaurants and the bathrooms, and it's got copper tubing, and ran a hose to the back hose, a little water line that I buried in the flower bed. You can't see it, and we have full flushing urinal right now. So the wife was not happy with that one, but oh well, she'll get over it.
It'll be interesting to see how that works come below freezing temperatures.
Well, yeah, we're gonna use it probably till about late November, mid-November, and then we're gonna pull the lines out and go back to the old-fashioned Amish way of doing things, I suppose.
Yeah, you might have to get the wife a she shed.
Yeah, I gotta walk on eggshells around that whole situation. I gotta behave myself because I'm on thin ice with that garage at this point.
Chris, what do you think is going to happen Thursday night?
Well, I agree. I think Mike was saying that speed that Miami has is insane, but yet somehow McDermott comes up with a plan, against them that just kind of confuzzles them. It's a divisional game, so these teams face each other so much. That championship game, the division championship game last year at the end of the season, that was the Bills had 7 offensive points at one point until that punt return in the fourth quarter. So Miami had a great game plan. So saying all that, to me, I think it's just going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be the defenses are probably going to be really sloppy. I think both offenses are going to take advantage of that, and it's just going to be one of those things that's going to come down to a few breaks and a few penalties, and maybe a turnover. So it's hard to say. The 4-night rest, quick turnaround thing has got me a little bit, confused with it. But I think I texted earlier. I like a 33-28 type game, just a high-scoring affair.
Do you think that Josh Allen could serve Dennis's favorite kind of burger to the Dolphins?
What is that, a 40 burger?
That's a 50 burger.
50 burgers.
50 burger? I mean, I wouldn't. Listen, anything can happen in these matchups because when you think Miami's got it and they're red hot, the Bills just stomp them. So, I don't know. The Bills are kind of due. I mean, Miami eventually has got to win one of these games, and they got to get up emotionally for it because they're sick of getting their ass kicked by the Bills. Maybe that comes this week on Thursday. I don't know. But again, big picture, you got 2 against them. If you give up one there, you got to get the home one against Miami. So this game to me is kind of like it's a win-win for the Bills. If they come out of there with a loss, so be it. They're 1-1. But if they can somehow eke out a win, now they're 2-0. They're right back in the conversation again.
I think my fear is that DeMar Hamlin's going to get exposed.
I think the whole secondary is going to get exposed.
I mean, I'm not too worried about Benford and Rasul Douglas.
I'm not worried about Douglas at all. It's the weak links.
Linebackers are going to be a problem. I think Dorian Williams he's going to be thrown to the fire, and you're asking him a lot with a lot of speed and having to make decisions quickly. I just don't think he's there yet. I do agree with someone that said Bernard struggled yesterday. I think that's going to be a real test. And like I said earlier, I think it literally is going to go in stages. It's got to be that front forward. If it's not, it's going to put pressure on the linebackers. I don't think those linebackers are going to be able to hold up with Miami's crossing routes and their speed, putting even more pressure on the back end with the cornerbacks. So we'll see how it plays out. But I agree. That is worrisome for sure.
No,
I think
Taron
the
Johnson
speed
is
kills,
scary. So. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're so fast, and no Taron Johnson is terrifying.
Who's his backup?
Cam Lewis.
That's why I saw. Okay.
Who I thought made some plays yesterday.
Yeah, he didn't look horrible.
He played all right. Yeah.
Did Elam get on the field?
I didn't see him much.
I did not see
I
him,
didn't
no.
notice him, so if he was, that's good.
Right.
Maybe he was with Ed Oliver. He was with Ed Oliver, I think.
That's funny. Oh, ridiculous. Hey, Chris, how's the weather where you are?
So we were driving out to West Seneca, and it was quite the lightning show. It's not really raining here now, but I did check the radar. But everything out east of us is getting lit up pretty good out towards Rochester, even out towards the Finger Lakes. So, we're getting a little break from it.
Sounded like there was a tornado warning in 2 counties.
Yeah, Genesee County looked like
In Wyoming County.
Well, I sent it to. That's what I showed Sean earlier. There was a tornado on Grand Island today when you were there.
When I was there?
Yeah, I'll send you the picture because I watch this stuff closely because of work.
Yeah. Wow. We suffered a 0-1 loss to Grand Island. My boy fed one right to the net on a foot. Goalie jumped out of his cleats to make this game-winning. Oh my God! Save! Holy cow! Amazing.
What an electrifying score.
Well, it's
Soccer.
So, Chris knows soccer life.
We actually had a game canceled this afternoon. It was supposed to be Grand Island JV girls at the school there at Penn East, but that storm ripped through, as you guys well know, and they decided to call it, but by 5:05 it was blue skies and sunny, so I don't know if that was the best decision.
Our game got delayed to start at 5:20, and we got up there. It was beautiful. I forgot that they play on the turf there for JV also, so that was nice and dry. So
yeah.
All right, Chris. Well, we can let you go. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, guys, and hopefully we can get in studio next week. Short week, go Bills for sure.
All right, man. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
All right.
All right, see you, Wade.
Bye, Chris.
I just looked up Taron Johnson, and all they're saying is he's out this week. They're still doing research, whatever that means.
Oh.
So that's not a good sign,
Research,
and that they won't comment any further. So,
What was the play? What kind of a play did he get hurt on? What happened?
Wasn't it that play over the middle where he was in on a tackle
I heard
or
Rapp
something
smoked
like that?
him.
Rapp hurt him, I think.
His own guy. That's the worst.
Well, and Rapp did that last year.
Rapp is so reckless.
Yeah, they were saying that he's
Listen to you.
that's a second friendly fire incident that he's been included in, and he just goes too hard.
He's out of control.
Okay, so before we wrap this up, what are things that you really like, things that you didn't like, almost like a hopes, fears, and dreams kind of for the next game, or where, what did they do that surprised you? What did they do that kind of shocked you in a bad way? Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing,
Oh, I'm surprised that Dalton Kincaid only got one catch yesterday. I mean, I know the whole thing was to spread it out, which I think is a good plan.
I agree. He was not as involved.
Yeah, I thought he would at least get a couple,
Yep. Okay.
I love that Josh is still Josh, no matter who's around him. You still feel like you can win. You have a chance to win every game as long as he's your quarterback.
Hell yeah.
I am terrified of the defense. I still don't think that Arizona put up 28 on us. What was it? What was their score?
28.
They put up 28 on us. I don't know that they'll. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know that they'll be scoring 28 on a regular basis.
But 7 was the kick return too.
Right.
Don't forget about
8.
that.
And seven came from a horrible roughing the passer call.
Yeah.
So, but still,
Right. I wasn't as upset about the defense. I thought, the fact that we got all those sacks and disruption, that's what we need.
But you need it consistently throughout the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's still concerning.
Okay, here's a question.
We're going to be in a lot of shootouts.
Okay,
possibly,
here's a question. Do you remember the last time the Bills had a home opener where they absolutely just decimated an opponent?
New England.
Right out of the gate?
2003.
New England.
Yeah?
Might have been 01, actually.
There was
the Sam Adams game,
Yeah,
right?
they destroyed New England, and then New England won the
31-0.
Super Bowl.
And then New England beat us 31-0 week 17.
Yep.
Okay, bad example.
Well, that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
We were on the cover of Sports Illustrated. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And we suck again the rest of the year.
I'm hopeful that the Bills, they looked like they had a swagger. If we're going with what Mike said and it was a must-win, they showed up. Okay. They didn't take the foot off the pedal. They looked that whole second half in complete control. They didn't panic. Josh didn't play hero ball. They didn't overreact. They got the win, thank God, because New England's right on their heels. I mean, the Buffalo Bills looked like they were a comfortable, confident midseason team. I get it. I think Arizona's going to be better than they were last year, but these are games we usually lose against inferior opponents, and they found a way to win.
Yeah.
And I just felt comfortable.
I will say this too. I know one of the hot topics all offseason was the receiving room. That Mac Hollins catch, Allen made that play. Allen stepped up. Allen put it right in his hands, but he rifled that ball into his hands, and he grabbed it out of the air like it was nothing. He actually tweeted Mac a picture of that. He's like, I was holding on for dear life.
So we've got Mac Hollins has got hands like Dudzik.
Ooh, I like it.
Yep, he did this week. Yep.
Yeah.
I got to say, somebody we didn't bring up at all that I thought was looking great still is Shakir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
His yards after contact and are insane. I think the effort that he puts in.
Well,
you can't bring that guy down with one guy.
And that touchdown that he scored, that was another Deion Dawkins bulldoze. I don't know if you saw that.
They played it a couple times.
They flattened somebody again.
So that was huge. And that's all from Shakir, just his feet never stop.
Yeah, and he landed on the defender and rolled
Stretched.
over him. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That and that other play in the middle of the field. That was that was incredible.
Yeah.
We can nitpick, but realistically, nothing killed the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen didn't kill the Buffalo Bills. Cook didn't have an atrocious drop. Their defense hung tough. Bass didn't kill them completely.
Well,
nobody really.
Special teams didn't kill them completely.
Yeah. I mean, I know, but that was still a unique situation. They're playing a real game with a brand new, pretty different rule change. That might take some time to adjust. The whole league might take some time to adjust. So I mean, nobody killed the team to where we can point to that person and say scapegoat. And even if it was week one. Everyone was week one. The teams, the refs, the coaches, all week one. The Bills came out with a W.
Yep.
Well, and as much as we've been talking about how they were kind of sleepwalking through the first half, they brought it the second half big time. So that was good to see.
I was hopeful that the Bills would come out with more fire or, energy in the first half. I was disappointed that they came out flat, but then I was very excited that holy shit, they adjusted to the Arizona, they shutting them down, they're moving the ball, holy crap, what's going on, like 180, flipping.
You saw a team in the first half that looked comfortable on the road. You saw a team that looked very uncomfortable at home.
Oh, yeah.
That's the way the Buffalo Bills looked. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw that in the stadium.
Mike said they were getting booed.
They looked like a team that was unsure because they're playing for their home fans. Arizona looked loose and in control.
Yep.
And again, McDermott, we bag on him more than he probably deserves. Forget it. He deserves it all. But you got to give him credit. He was able to grab each one of their face masks and say, refocus, reset, and let's go out there. And they followed the plan. It was a brand new game at the second half.
I do completely agree with what you said about Josh not playing hero ball. Was just kept cool, calm, and collected. Took what they gave him. Didn't do anything crazy, like where he's almost going down for a sack and Olay kind of a throw for a pick six or something stupid.
Sure. Yep.
So you know what? Just live to play another down. So I don't know. I'm pretty.
Kyle's not going to like this, but I think Keon's an upgrade on Gabe already.
Ooh.
It's funny because Matt Collins scored that first touchdown. I'm like, oh my God, Gabe Davis is back.
That was his route.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Do we feel okay about not taking Worthy yet? Now that we saw one game versus one game.
For the most part, I think.
I think we would have been
okay
good with either one. They're two different receivers. They're two different skill sets. And if you wanted outright speed, you should have went with Worthy. If you want the big, strong that can win the battles where Josh is putting the ball up, then you want Coleman.
I don't think Worthy would have made that play that Coleman made.
No, absolutely not. He's tiny. He's tiny compared to Coleman.
But he might have caught that ball that MVS didn't catch up to.
Yeah,
right.
I think all the rookie wide receivers, they had about the same kind of game for the most part. A few of them scored a touchdown, but they all kind of get like five or so receptions, 50 yards or so, give or take.
And then what do we think about Diggs's first game, 2 touchdowns?
I don't care.
Who?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who?
I mean, back to the Worthy thing, like I could definitely see the argument for not just refusing to help the Chiefs in any situation.
Yeah.
Just like don't give them the guy they want.
I saw a picture that stung. It was a picture of Worthy and
Mahomes together.
Mahomes. It's like both players. Bills traded those picks to them. So.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, I still want Josh.
And the Worthy, he had a touchdown and an end around. He's so fast. And then he scored a touchdown on a total busted coverage.
Busted defense. Yeah.
And then he did nothing the rest of the game.
Anything
so
else he was contested.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, he didn't have
let's see him play some more games, and we'll see how it goes. I think they wanted size. I think the Bills wanted size in the receiving room.
Size counts.
Yeah, the
size matters.
We'll see like halfway through the season. End of the season, halfway through the season.
Exactly.
What it looks like,
Everyone dogged on us for picking Josh Allen.
Right.
I guess my question pertain to Diggs should have been, how long before their honeymoon is over?
Yeah, it won't be long.
I'm not surprised he had a good first. I think he's going to have a good first half, and then we'll see. I think he's going to slow down again, and then he'll get mad that Nico Collins is getting more targets than him or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about when other people start more scoring. I mean, that was the first game, 2 touchdowns, life is great. What happens, October 30th, and they're losing by a lot, all that stuff.
All it takes is one tantrum to blow up your dressing room, and that's that's the good and the bad of this guy. The fact the Bills were able to make it work as long as they did, I think that's going to come back and it's going to look good on Buffalo. They were able to make that relationship work as long as they were able to, and then when it blew up pretty badly.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, I think last podcast we talked about how much we don't like him. So
it can fire a fan base up. It can unite a team. October 6th, wedding anniversary, is going to be an electric game. It's going to be good. It might be the one that if you're a Bills fan, diehard, mediocre Bills fan, you still circle it. Miami are must wins. They're divisional, but you know what? This one's got a little bit more of an edge to it. That I'm actually more excited to see that one than what we do against Miami.
So I just checked the box score for that Texans game. He was the only guy to catch receiving touchdowns in their game.
And I'm sure some of his feelings were hurt.
Joe Mixon ran one in and a couple field goals. So, so I guess he's sitting on top pretty right now.
So he's happy right now.
Yeah.
Well, Nico Collins had more yards and targets, though.
That's what I'm saying. But he's happy now because he got the glory on 2 of them.
I bet you Diggs would be ecstatic if he caught 1-yard touchdowns and Miko's 200 yards a game receiving, right? No touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I think I really like how they spread the ball around. Can't really load up against one guy or another, and then you kind of just adjust if they do pick out a guy. Mm-hmm. So,
but I'm surprised with all our primetime early season games. That's the 1:00 game on our schedule.
Yeah, I was surprised about that too.
Like,
what's the schedule?
How is that not a Sunday or Monday night game?
You can't flex it. It's too early.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I think the schedule was out before the trade.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think so. I think the
trade
was already done.
Yeah, the trade did happen first.
The trade was done.
All right. Well, what do you think's good? All right, let's go around and see
scores.
What we think was going to happen.
For this week, I think that the Dolphins are going to win.
That's what you picked.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I wish I was wrong, but hopefully I am. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I picked the Dolphins last week, and I'll pick them again. I picked Arizona this week, so maybe it'll
all right.
Maybe that'll work out again. But yeah, unfortunately, I just don't see this early one going our way.
Okay, Mike.
One of my guys that works for me is a huge Dolphins fan, and we had a discussion today, and we both agree that they're going to split this season, and we both agree the home team's going to win. So, Miami.
Bills have beat the Dolphins 11 of their last 12 meetings, and we're better. And every time we play them, it's just clear who the better quarterback is, and that makes the difference. Bills 34-22.
I like that score.
Okay.
I like that we're robbing Miami of their home field advantage. It's going to be a night game. It's not going to be hot. The Bills, I go with Chris, for the most part, have owned the Dolphins. I like the Bills to win 32-21. If this was week 4, week 5, and it was a short and it was Miami, I just think they still got a lot of jam left this early in the season. I don't think this 4-day break is going to bother them at all. I like the Bills 2-0.
They're also traveling on the East Coast.
Yeah, right.
So that's not going to hurt.
London.
Right.
Or California.
Right.
Yeah, so. Kyle?
I'm going to stick with the Bills. I'm going to go Bills.
Split 3-3.
Yep. I want to be wrong, just to make it clear.
Yeah.
I know, but I think after they adjusted to Kyler Murray's speed, I think that hopefully he can adjust to theirs too. But like what Herb said, what do we got? Last 11 or 12?
11 out of 12.
11 out of 12. So
I like the D-line.
And the one loss was that heat stroke game.
Yeah, and we out-yardaged them by 200
yeah.
yards. Like, we should have won that game.
Yeah.
Easily should have won that game.
Yeah. Like Kenny Easton, I had many opportunities and lost on a garbage goal.
Go Bulldogs.
Yeah. Go Kenny East. So, all right, folks. Bills, Thursday night at the Dolphins. Does anybody know the spread of that game right now? Is it up?
Miami's up 1, I believe.
So it's almost like a split.
It's a pick 'em.
Well, if Miami's up 1, according to gambling, that means that the Bills are actually favored.
Right.
Miami's up 1.5. Yeah, 3.
1.5,
they give the home team an automatic 3 points.
Right.
So we're actually favored by a 1.5. But according to the spread, Miami's favored by 1.5.
I mean, like I've said in a previous podcast, when Josh Allen's got the football, anything can happen, good or bad.
Right.
Like, you see him even, like, start to look downfield, like, how far is he going to take this ball?
You guys didn't hear it because you were at the game, but the announcers kind of said it best when he had that strip sack fumble. Welcome to the Josh Allen experience. Welcome to the Josh Allen experience, and that's kind of what it is. I mean, it turned out the ending was happy in, 4 touchdowns. I'll take a strip sack every time you could give me 4.
Sure.
But, yeah, I mean, that's what we have. We can kind of tone it down. We asked for that last season. We saw him kind of do it this first game. He owns that team.
Do you know what he didn't do?
throw an interception.
Pick.
Stunning. I mean, we didn't even really talk about it.
I wasn't going to bring it up. Like, do we start the tracker of one game without a hit?
I mean, that fumble was his only mistake of the game.
Yeah.
And,
Carrying it like a loaf of bread, like you did all
missed the
game.
deep ball.
That and the people's elbow he gave himself.
Yeah.
You know, those two.
Yeah.
The deep ball, he's not hit on his deep balls lately for like a little while. The MVS one he should have hit.
Yeah.
Do you even know what you say?
Deep balls.
Do you really realize
A
what
lot
you
of
say?
dicks.
It's awesome. You are content gold.
You gotta have deep
New
balls,
clip.
man.
I know. Gotta love the deep balls.
Yeah.
Chicks dig the long ball.
And the deep ones, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, we're going to cut it. We're just rambling now.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
ZaBillsPodcast is a presentation of Kmart Productions, sponsored by MJB Electric and Dudza Chiropractic. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't, please follow, rate, review the show. It helps with the algorithm. ZaBills is executively produced by me, Kyle. Executive sound engineering by yours truly, also me. Fundraising, also by Kyle. All artwork executively produced by Avery and Mark Rochon. What the heck is this? All music and lighting executively produced by Kyle. That's more like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully. Arrive home safely. Good night. Yeah, baby. Yeah.